touched on something that's really interesting. It's super important for us as well, and that is mentorship, right? How do you feel like, I'm thinking a lot of people, don't have perhaps the guts to kind of reach out to the people they admire. And even if they do, they see it more like a dotted process instead of like a continuous relationship. So I'm guessing, I'm trying to figure out, and this is actually for myself, right? Where do you feel you're able to kind of give something back to the people that help you and mentor you? Or what's the balance between receiving and offering? Or is it just more like passing it on in turn, right? When you'll become in that position. And the second question would be like, what's a good way of maintaining a relationship with a mentor without being too suffocating for that person, but at the same time kind of being on their radar on a consistent basis, right?
Oh, Seb, I love your thinking, especially the second question is fantastic. Yes, so I'll tell you this, right? So for the first question, there is nothing to be scared of to reach out to people. They're still human beings, right? And see, most of them you've either worked with or you've met them at conferences or you've seen their tech talks. I reach out to people on LinkedIn who have inspired me when I watch their tech talks or conference talks, right? So, and they're all human beings. You really need to believe that they're not something that you're unfamiliar with, right? So so what you need to spend time thinking on is not how to deal with your fear or that diffidence or the resistance that you might have to write that first message. Just think about it this way, right? What's the worst that can happen? That person might not reply or that person might not connect with you. So what, right? Like you just keep your self-belief on and you reach out to the next person, right? There is no dearth for inspiration. The buck doesn't stop anywhere, right? So you need to have that self-belief and that roughness to your dream, where you say, no matter what, nothing will stop me from building a good network, right? In this, so one of the goals in your dream, to realize your dream, is to build a good network, right? So how do you make that happen? So I would say it's not true at all. That is a delusional way of looking at it, that people won't reply back or they won't care about who you are, or maybe you're a subordinate and they don't care for your growth. That's not true. If that's a good leader and if they have gone through similar paths, they know the value of mentorship. In fact, all the best mentors that I have today, they all tell me the same thing. They have had that in their life. They know the value of coaching and mentoring, and maybe they have learned certain things the hard way. They don't want someone else to go through the same thing, right? That's number one. People are willing to help. And the second thing is, they are actually happy when you ask them a good question, because people don't spend time critically thinking about things, asking good questions. So they're really happy when people reach out to them and ask good questions. So this is the first answer to the first question. The second question, I'll tell you something I do, right? How do you follow up and keep in touch with mentors? I literally have a Google calendar event that I've put for myself every 2 weeks, right? It says network review. It just says this, and I reach out to all I at least have like 7 people to whom I reach out for leadership advice. Some prefer calls, some prefer LinkedIn messages, and some prefer emails. I'm extremely structured about the brevity, keeping my messages brief, and the timing of the message, right? Every 2 weeks, if I have a question, I reach out to them, depending upon, who the question is relevant to, but more often than not, most of them. But that's the cadence you need. And sometimes it's 1 month. Maybe for you, it's 2 months once. You figure out the cadence, but it has to be consistent. They need to know that you are thinking about it seriously. And whenever you reach out to them the second time, tell them how it worked. Tell them how the first advice worked out. For example, I had reached out to a mentor regarding better delegation, and he had given me wonderful templates and frameworks. I tried that. It really served me well. During the next call, I quickly told him in 2 minutes how effective it was, how much value he added to my life, and how my team really was benefiting from that. So I think that's the process: effective follow-up and the cadence.
That's actually incredible advice, Mallika. I think everybody should have this database of contacts that they constantly ping to, and then just keep a relationship going. So thanks for sharing that. That's pretty awesome advice.